Chapter 1. An Introduction to Arthur. What's in a Name? 1. Myth, History, and Mystery. You will find in the course of this book that we encounter several Arthurs. There's not just one Arthur of legend for a start, and there's certainly not one Arthur of history. The Arthur we remember from our childhood reading is, for the most part, a fiction. Most of us know the basic legend from Sir Thomas Malory's Morte d'Arthur. Arthur was born of a deceitful relationship. With the help of the magician Merlin, Arthur's father Uther Pendragon, King of Britain, was able to take on the guise of Gorlois, Duke of Cornwall, and seduce Gorlois's wife, Igraine. After Uther's death, there was a contest to find the next king, who would be the one who could pull the sword out of the stone. All the champions and dukes tried and failed, but young Arthur, still only 15, succeeded. Not all of the dukes and other rulers were happy about this, and Arthur had to fight for his kingdom. But he won, and for a while ruled happily and wisely. Thanks to Merlin, Arthur acquired the sword Excalibur from the Lady of the Lake, the scabbard of which protected him from harm. He established the Round Table of brave and valorous knights, including Sir Kay, Sir Bedivere, Sir Gawain, Sir Bors, Sir Tristram, and, of course, Sir Lancelot. We learn of the adventures of these knights, saving damsels and fighting villains, and we follow the quest for the Holy Grail. But there is a dark side. Arthur's queen, Guinevere, fell in love with her champion, Lancelot, and those knights who disliked Lancelot plotted against him. These included Arthur's illegitimate son, Sir Mordred, whose mother, Margause, was the wife of King Lot of Orkney and Arthur's half-sister. Mordred, caught up in the scheming of other knights, especially Sir Agravaine, revealed the truth about Lancelot to Arthur, and Guinevere was sentenced to burn at the stake. She was rescued by Lancelot, but in the fracas, Gawaine's brothers were killed. Lancelot exiled himself to France, but Arthur, urged on by Gawaine, followed, allowing Mordred to usurp the kingdom. Arthur returned to do battle with Mordred, and was mortally wounded at the Battle of Camlan. The heroes of the Round Table not already killed in the war with Lancelot lay dead, all but Bedivere, who returned Arthur's sword to the Lady of the Lake. Arthur was taken to the Isle of Avalon, where his wounds would be cured, and one day he will return. Thus he is remembered as the once and future king. That, in a nutshell, is how we remember Arthur. Myth? Well, mostly. History? Well, Malory took this story from earlier accounts, mostly from the so-called Vulgate cycle, which drew on the work of Chrétien de Troyes. Chrétien got his stories from local tales and legends in France and Brittany, including some of the Welsh tales, later collected under the title The Mabinogion. It was Chrétien who invented the name Camelot and created the character of Lancelot. In his stories we find much of the original of Malory's Arthur, but his sources, the Welsh tales, portray a different, earlier Arthur, an Arthur of legend, far removed from the world of Plantagenet chivalry. This Arthur's world is still one of fantasy and magic, but beneath that surface is a sense of history. The Celtic Arthur feels as if he really belonged in his own time, unlike Malory's Arthur, who is rooted in a medieval Britain and the world of the Crusades. But there is yet another Arthur of legend, the creation of Geoffrey of Monmouth. 300 years before Malory, Geoffrey set out to write, or according to him translate, a history of Britain from a mysterious and ancient book. The result, the Historia Regum Britanniae, the history of the kings of Britain, contains a huge section on the exploits of King Arthur, which proved so popular that Geoffrey's history became a medieval bestseller. It was Geoffrey who created the fascination with Arthur, and who created most of the myth, though his story differs in certain parts from Malory's later version and significantly from the Welsh tales. Yet both Geoffrey's and the Welsh Arthurs have some basis in history, or at least a memory of history. Geoffrey also had his sources. These included Nennius, a 9th-century collector of old documents and chronicles, and a 6th-century monk.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it. at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.